have a show.
A mess. A mess.
Let's get into ready to
Real
have a mess.
thrifty.
Yes, ready to have a show. Let's talk about it, okay? I'm just gonna cut into
Real
some things.
thrifty looking bitches.
Camille and Cornelius, right? They trying to really convince us that they together. I'm
Girl,
not
not
seeing it.
him looking like
I mean,
Aladdin.
okay,
Not him looking like Genie in the lamp
right.
did. Girl, I was like, where did you get all of this satin from? And why did he have a grill in? What
I'm
church do they do that at? Like,
I'm so glad you said that because I meant to talk about the fashions first because I feel like nobody served. I feel like it was nobody in the possible, and I feel like the possible was Sydney. I feel like
Sydney,
Sydney probably looked the best out of everybody.
you and
When I
I,
went
you
back
and
and
I are in
thought
the
about
same
it,
place. Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is this makeup? Why is it too tall? And then the sad part was that I said, first of all, you already know Sydney didn't even get her makeup done by y'all. She couldn't have because everybody had the same thing going on.
Sydney was the
Okay.
only one that was the same color. Like her face was the same color as her titties. It
And
was a
her
little
hair looked
red.
good.
And her wig was good. I was like,
You,
what is everybody else going through? What is everybody else going through? Sabrina did look pretty for her traditional bohemian, and we glad she ain't wear no thrifty looking wig. So she was
right.
cute with her slick down and her little, big ass jewelry on her neck, and she was cute. And I feel like Camille looked pretty. I don't know if I liked her hair as much, but I think she looked together. Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't bad. It was
Mm-hmm.
good leave out, good foundation, and the color on her skin that she was wearing was good. But she was sitting next to that fool, so that was all I saw.
I ain't like her. Yeah, I think yellow on dark tones is so pretty to me. But I ain't like her dress.
I
I
didn't
ain't
see
like her
a
dress. Girl.
dress.
I
I
said, girl,
couldn't
what is she giving
tell
it
with the
to?
color. I couldn't tell what she was wearing. It was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them that I couldn't tell exactly what the dress. Like,
What they had on.
you mean? I was like, what is this? What is it is giving legally blind Morticia Adams. I don't know what the fuck is going on with You Mean's outfit. I was like, is it a dress? Is it a cape? Is it a jacket? What is it? I don't know.
You mean
I
stole
can't.
her outfit from the church choir? I couldn't. I did not like that.
The church
Yeah,
choir.
Camille, she looked all right, but I said the same thing. Cornelius looked like Aladdin, and I definitely was analyzing how he refused to take his hand off her booty, trying to seem overly masculine, and it just
It's giving gay.
Aisha was looking like Tiffany Bride of Chucky. That wig was not it, especially with no, everything was a no.
Girl,
Thoroughly
why you say
disappointed.
that?
It was like a last minute show
The
schedule.
bride
Like,
of
hey,
Chucky.
we're gonna do the show on Saturday.
I literally
Horrible.
just finished watching Chucky the show. So like that shit
Yeah,
is fresh in my mind. And you ain't never lying.
she looked like that in the blonde wig. I was like,
Bruh.
Hilarious. Oh my. Okay, y'all. So Cornelia says that as much as he was up there looking a fool, he says that he was pursuing Camille the same way Camille was pursuing, as much as Camille was pursuing him. And it was the lies for me. I'm like, well, how did y'all sit down and come up with the lies that y'all was gonna tell America? Camille sitting up there denying the fact that she was possessive over him, and then also after hearing the audio, wanted to lie and say that she never said she was gonna F those ladies up. And the gag for me, y'all, was Cornelia sitting up there looking stupid, agreeing with her, saying, yeah, no, she ain't say that, she ain't say that. And then after he saw the footage, he couldn't say nothing. I was like, this your girl though. You gonna stick beside him. Stick
in every
beside him.
clip, his eyes was like he's trapped, and you don't. I'm not 100% sure if he like men and women, but regardless of that, you don't want Camille. You don't
It's
want Camille at all.
it's giving by. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna tell y'all the main thing
Hmm.
that comes into my mind. And y'all listen, this is what I want people to understand. Socially, men, black men specifically, are groomed to not want to be gay, bisexual, even if they are. And when we start to see certain things about them and the way they move and we point it out, it doesn't mean that we think there's anything wrong with either one, but we do feel like they are showing us a fugazi, fake ass representative when
Say
the
it again.
underlying situation is that you're truly not really interested. How are we supposed to assess these relationships and not be honest about the fact that this
Mhm.
man did not show any chemistry or real interest in this woman the entire show, but now they're so-called engaged and dressing alike? it definitely
Right.
comes off as somebody who is bisexual,
Yeah.
who, and I'm sorry, I'm always going to go back to that picture on his wall, y'all. He was
Yes.
oiled up in a picture on his wall. I
Rainbow.
don't know any straight man like that would have a picture up of themselves greased up in that way. And it wasn't just one picture, it was a couple of pictures on the wall. It was
Yep.
a sequence of photos of him with no clothes on, oiled the fuck up. So when you
Yeah.
add that to this Camille situation,
Come on.
to him obviously not wanting to be with a woman like Courtney, who was going to try to jump his bones too soon.
That's what
all
I
of
said
those
too.
things, all of those things
Yep.
came together to create the recipe for us to feel like he's lying about how he really, you know, prefers things, because he doesn't want to, first of all, let his people down. Okay.
Yep.
And because he still wants to have children and have the family and live all of that, you know, that fairy tale shit that everybody think is you know, real. Yeah.
That's exactly why he didn't
Right.
want Courtney, is what I said. Courtney was gonna make him lay the pen, and he didn't want to do that. He just wanted, and Camille,
come
she would
on.
be okay with that. He didn't want to do this. He was running from Courtney. Like, he's the type of man that has to be chased, not that he wants to. The other thing I found odd was whenever he
What's
almost
that?
got sent home and he called Zadia sexy as hell. I was like, you don't have that type of energy. Why are you using that language? I feel like he was trying to convince us.
We hate to see it. I can't. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about what else I wanted to talk about. Zadia. Why we talking about Zadia? And this stupid smile she had on her face the whole time, trying to act on her face, but it was giving I'm bothered. Zadia tried to downplay the Brown Girl Squad and why it was created, but y'all went on to go and create a social media page. And then when the host asked, can these other ladies be a part of it? She tried to deflect and say, oh, well, Sabrina just cussed me out. Why would I want to be her friend? And because you did not have an answer to combat what it is the ladies was bringing to the forefront, you decided to exit stage left. I can't was I like Zadia made me just cringe. I hated it. I don't want to see her on any more shows. I hope she never does TV again. I didn't like her. What are y'all thoughts?
Couldn't stand
Oh,
her.
and Naeem. We didn't even get to Naeem.
That's what I was
Naeem
about
up
to
here
say.
speaking
Yep.
up for her.
Naeem
And
is
for what they
worse.
talking about, all the men liked her. Like, how they supposed to know? He was a clown.
I don't think he lied about that. And honestly, so I feel like a lot of the friction between the women probably started based on them liking the same people. I think it was probably just some little catty stuff like that. But people probably didn't expect Zadia to be as disrespectful as she was, especially with the click stuff with Camille. So I feel like what probably would have been normal catty chatter ended up turning into some mess. But yeah, one thing that Zadia literally had her clown mask on for was whenever Sabrina was talking and she got up from the stage and walked away, kind of like, oh, who she gonna talk to now? Like, oh, who y'all gonna talk? It was a flex to me. She thought that she had the pull to basically completely dead conversation. I'm like, girl, sit back down. Sit back down, please.
To me, I didn't like it because I feel like you were so confrontational during the season. So to me, if you're going to be about it, be about it. And when everybody comes at you with that shit, they come back at them with a response to this shit. Y'all had all of this time to think about what y'all wanted to say. You and Camille totally lied and acted like we didn't see what the fuck we saw, talking about you didn't say you was gonna kick. Girl, I was so mad that they was actually arguing with her about that. I'm like, girl, it is on camera. We all saw it and heard it. People that was watching that night, people that caught the playback, people that was there in the room, all them and Naeem and them lying, talking about they didn't hear what she said. You're a lie. She repeated herself and said that she would fuck them up. She said it more than once. And she told old boy when he was about to send her home that, oh, because she about to fuck him up too. Like, at the end of the day, she has been threatening everybody to make sure that Cornelius stays there. She's been bullying everybody and everybody knows it. So y'all sitting up there acting like it's not happening is ridiculous. And Naeem, let me tell you something. I cannot stand a man that has nothing to really say ever in life. Don't have a real coin, a real jewel or opinion to give. No time, no other time. But when it was time for you to defend that booty, like that girl said, that's all you care about is that booty. So she did something. Zadia did something while y'all wasn't taping. For you now to be showing up in matching maroon outfits with fake ass Morticia Adams, because her wig was slayed, was laying to the back. I can't stand when wigs be behind your shoulders and it stay like that, as if you purposefully want the hair to stay back over the no, but I need the
Right,
hair
be
to flow
stiff.
over the shoulders sometimes. So yeah, so I could throw it back. Like, she wasn't giving no flow to that wig whatsoever. It was giving very much helmet like tease. And when you got up and walked away, there was no slink, there was no bounce, bitch. It was disappointing.
It was quick wig.
It was the only thing that was good about it was her
Lord have
ass.
mercy.
I'm like, but your body look good, because that's all Naeem care about. But Naeem killed me because the way he was trying to argue with these women, the bitch assness of it, to call them
Yep.
jealous liars, even after we're playing everything on playback, and you still sitting up there calling these women jealous liars because all the men like Zadia on week 1. Why did we not talk about how Frank in the confessional and other men had vocalized that Zadia was doing entirely too fucking much? They had vocalized it. But once we got to the reunion, everybody's quiet.
Yep. I saw this TikTok last week.
Uh-oh.
And it was super chat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, thanks so much for the super chat, Lisa. Hey, love the commentary, positive vibes. Thank you.
Thank you. So I was on TikTok last week and I saw this girl drawing a picture. So it was like a circle over here. She was like, I can't stand the man that's always in women's business. You got ESPN, you got a job, you got the gym, but boom, here you go in women's business. I was like, this was Naeem. You work in tech, you got the gym, you got the barbershop in between ESPN, but boom, here you go talking about Zadia and these women wanted to make friends. I'm like, boy, if you don't,
can I say something?
Bye.
So I remember when we were talking about the Phil situation, which there's no reason to talk about that right now, don't get me wrong. But somebody said that if we are going to expect Phil to not pick your girl up and bring her back to the car, then we shouldn't have expected any of the men to speak up when Naeem was going off on all the women. And I'm like, I cannot stand the way y'all do that. I cannot stand the way you put those two things together as if that's what that. No, he had other options in order to be a gentleman. He had other options. He didn't want to take those options, but he had other options. That was not his only recourse to make sure that she was safe. First the fuck all. Second of all, the men should have said something to Naeem's punk ass, because they all had already said that shit when he was, when they were in their confessionals. So to me, it seems, and to me, I don't care what nobody say, it's bitch assness to me for men to have a whole bunch of heat and a whole bunch of words for women. But when it comes to confrontation with men, they're on mute. And that's
like
what
the
I don't like.
like the podcast dudes.
You're on mute when the men are in the room. You have nothing to say. But when you can go at a woman, you just take free reign to let off on them. And I think that's punk shit at the end of the day.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing else the entire season.
And more punk SHI would be Frank, acting like he was so into women only for the situation to be over and he not give her anything, and then try to blame it on the fact that he been through a lot as though she never been through anything. And then let's also talk about Miss Tecia deciding to walk off calling this the ghetto. Girl, talking about her mom in the hospital, but you could have went to be with your mom. You weren't required. But let me finish, y'all. Let me go say, she wasn't required to be there. You talk about a contractual obligation as though this is a reoccurring opportunity for you, girl. This is a one-off. Just like Shiloh decided she don't want to come because I think she didn't want to speak on the situation with Phil. You could have opted out as well. So, what do you all thought? I felt like Frank was whack as for that, and he was fake as hell.
His suit was too tight, first of all. I feel like we all could tell that Frank is the type of black man that's probably going to marry a white woman. I think a lot of us could feel that off of him when we first encountered him. But because he seemed to be on a show with black women, interested in black women, we were like, okay. But I think we all felt that from Frank, that he possibly, especially once we saw the white girl, we was like, there it is. Because a lot of times it's one or two things. Either you don't like women or you just don't like black women. And there's a teller in your personality somewhere that women, especially black women, pick up on. Okay. And I picked up on Frank, but we let it live. all for Frank to get here and do exactly what that lady did on Married at First Sight, which was in some way blame you mean. Did y'all hear when he was saying there were things about our interactions that didn't add up? And that's when she had to stop him, because she was like, what interactions are you talking about? Because there was none. And at first I was like, oh, wait, what's going on? I didn't understand. But then when she started to explain, no, nothing happened after that day. After we chose each other, nothing else happened. He was making it seem like they were spending time together and the shit just wasn't adding up, like she was, you know, being the negative or being the pick-me or whatever people had thought she may have been negatively. I think by the way he was explaining it, he was hoping that people would think that Mean turned into a bitch on him. And that's the reason why they're not together. And she didn't let him do that. She clocked it and said, no. I didn't do anything. I wasn't too much of anything, nigga. You didn't even come and see about it in order for it to be too much.
I'm glad she clocked it. But what I couldn't stand, I knew I was in for some shit whenever she was sitting there and he said, go ahead, tell the story. Go ahead. You can tell everyone. Are we supposed to be grateful that you are giving her permission to tell everybody that she was an asshole? I'm like, you have such a Joanna scammer way of trying to charm yourself through situations. And it's like, I could see you lying through your pink lips. I cannot. Right. So, yeah. But the other thing, on the flip side, I do feel like Mean was a pick-me the entire time. And you definitely see what happens when people try to force relationships on the show. And that's why I was so happy when Sabrina made her decision, because you see the women on the show, she tried to outrun Walter denying her, and she just wanted to end up with somebody who didn't even want her. And I could have told her that from jump. So I do agree with y'all. I think that Frank absolutely prefers white women, but because he is African, he probably feels a strong obligation to want to be attracted to Black women. But that's not where his heart is taking him, in my opinion.